Good morning, Enid. Thank you for joining us. It's good to see you again on this Thursday, July 14. It's partly cloudy to mostly cloudy outside. It's kind of a cool 75 because the rain from last night cooled things off for a little bit. And depending on where you live, I think we had about a half inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain. And what a blessing that was. It's going to be hot and humid today, high around 95, and humidity will be 100%, I'm sure, because there's a 60% chance of showers later on today. So again, thank you for joining us. We have a return guest today. We have an exciting show. Grab a cup of coffee. Enid, it's time to rise and shine. Good morning, Enid, 7:31 on this Thursday, July 14, and we are so excited to have a return guest. I think records will show one of our most popular shows or most watched shows was the guest that we're going to have later on this morning, so thank you for joining us. Well, let's take a look at some of the weather real quick, and we can look at some of the statewide temps in case you're planning to drive across the state today. If you're headed out towards the Panhandle, right now it's at 69. They've had some showers out in the Panhandle area overnight as well. So you can see where things have cooled off. And you know, Rufus and Taylor, no rain down that way. So they're a warm 78 and 77 this morning. And I guess that's Rhea, I'm not sure. But I've been to Okmulgee. So anyway, you see from north, south, east, and west, some of the temperatures across the state. And if you're planning for the weekend, you see, not this weekend. I was thinking, well, the air show, but no, that's next weekend. Any rate, for the weekend, this is swimming pool weather. It's definitely July. And Friday, we have this front that comes in, as you can tell, kind of cools things off, barely reaching 90. But we're back to July and summer temps for Saturday and Sunday, pushing 100 degrees on both days. And when you see those numbers, it reminds me of hit the swimming pool weather, and that's part of our topic today on our show. So we appreciate that. I'd like to remind you that Kenny Rogers is not the first edition, but just Kenny Rogers is coming to Enid, and that will be Friday night show around 7:30. You can see where you get your tickets, and it will be at the Central National Bank Center. And again, it is so exciting to see all the different venues, all the different talent, and see, I believe, Weird Al Yankovic is coming up on Sunday, I believe. Sunday. Remember those old car racing ads? Sunday. Okay, anyway, Weird Al is Sunday. So, all at the event center. Well, thank you for joining us. Those are some of the events. We've got some other announcements that we'll share with you throughout the morning. Appreciate you joining us today. And I think it's time to really look at the news. And the best way for us to do that is to look to the bow tie guy, which is Derrick Silas, and he has the Oklahoma Minute. So let's find out what happened overnight in the news besides the heavy rain last night.
Gasoline pump prices nationwide have fallen for 30 straight days, and according to statistics, Oklahoma has the nation's second cheapest gasoline prices. Everyone is raving about the new Pokemon Go game released on July 6th that promotes exercise and travel between the real world and virtual world. Enid residents were out on the courthouse lawn and parks to chase down the critters this week. Native Oklahoma resident David Wilson may become the first Native American bishop in history of the United Methodist Church. The election process begins today in Wichita and expected to conclude tomorrow. And on this day in history, in 1881, Sheriff Pat Garrett shoots Henry McCarty, known as Billy the Kid, to death at the Maxwell Ranch in New Mexico. And that's the Oklahoma Minute. Back to you, Steve.
Wow. Interesting news. I love these facts, these history things that you come up with. I like trivia and things of this nature, but I like history, so that's good. Well, you can see the swimming pool behind me, and today will be swimming pool weather along with the weekend. And we want to talk a little bit about water safety in our show today, and so we're looking forward to that with our one-on-one with Jomara. Speaking of special events, a young man turns 17. How many of you remember turning 17? I barely remember turning 17. But if you have a birthday, vacation picture, anything like that, send it to us at gme@enid.org. And look, Jose Melendez turned 17 this past week, and we appreciate Jose's mom. Of course, moms are good about that, sending in pictures of their kids. But happy birthday, Jose, number 17. Drive safely, Jose. But there you go. Send it to gme@enid.org. Again, vacation picture, birthday picture, anything that you want to celebrate on this Thursday morning show, please do. I know AJ and our staff, he'd send us picture of his proud kids, Nelson, trying to think of some of the other cows that he had. He had some new cows show up. Oh yeah, Matilda, taking a bath right there. Is that weekly, AJ, or daily?
That's weekly.
That's a weekly bath, okay. So Matilda, anyway, you can see that we'll take pictures from swimming pool to Matilda in the water to Jose. Anyway, gme@enid.org will get that information to us. And it's 7:36, holding steady at 75 degrees. And if you're planning today, they do say, the weatherman says there's a 60% chance of showers today. So keep that in mind. I'd like to remind you that there's a recycle survey that's being asked for residents to take advantage of. And of last count, I think Derrick can correct me, but I think we had around 450 Enid residents have taken this survey. So spread the word on this. Go to enid.org/recycling survey. There's about 5 or 6 questions, and ask you just simple questions about if you want to participate in a program, would you be willing to pay for it, and things of this nature. So, enid.org recycling survey, and share that with other individuals. And I think you can find that on our Facebook site as well, but we're just trying to get feedback on that. Well, enough of me talking this morning. I really want to get to our special guest early today because it's quite a story. And so without me talking anymore, let's get to our special guest. So it's time now at 7:37 for One-on-One with Jomara.
Good morning, Enid. Our special guest this morning is Amanda Carlisle. Amanda visited with us about a year ago, and she talked about how knowing CPR saved her daughter's life. Amanda, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Your daughter, Britton, you were mentioning she's 4 years old now?
Yes, she had a birthday in March.
In March. Can you share with us what happened this past year after this big experience? How's the family doing?
We are so well, but it has not been an easy process. It was quite difficult for about the first 6 months. We had a lot of PTSD in our family, and that's kind of taken a process. I went through some brain therapy to get past some nightmares and some sensory issues, and so we did that. And B had a lot of nightmares right kind of at the beginning, a little bit of fear of water. Mainly she just wanted her floaty. So as long as she had her floaty, she was good to get in the swimming pool. So it wasn't just flat out refusal to go into the swimming pool. She just very much wanted her floaty, which was a good thing because that's how she ended up in the pool in the first place, by refusing the floaty. And our oldest daughter, she was just within arm's length the day of the accident. So she was very, very close and witnessed a whole lot. And so she battled through a lot of nightmares and just anxiety whenever when we were in the swimming pool. Ava really would get a little bit nervous, yeah. But a year later, we are very, very, very good. Very
That
good.
is wonderful to
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah.
And Amanda, for those of our people that are watching our show this morning and they're not too familiar with what happened, last year your youngest daughter, she almost drowned in your grandparents or your in-laws' house, right? In their pool. And Amanda, you rushed to her, and because you knew CPR, you saved your daughter's life. And that's what we're celebrating today. That Bridgeton is good, is healthy, and excuse me, and that your family has moved through that experience.
We have. I didn't realize that the anniversary of her accident was actually during CPR Awareness Week.
Wow.
A lot of irony in that. So her accident was June 5th, and CPR Awareness Week runs from June 1st through the 7th. So that was funny, to come up on the year and then to realize it was during that week of Awareness Week. And so it kind of cemented it even more in us that it's such a necessary skill for parents and grandparents, caregivers, really anyone, that we're able to be prepared at a time of great need. Because I think that I don't know that we would have the same story today if I didn't know what to do that day.
And the thing is that this sort of accident can happen to anybody in a brief moment. Things can change.
They
quickly.
do. We are safe swimmers. We're careful. We obey swimming rules. We swim every day, and if one person gets out to go to the bathroom, we all get out to go to the bathroom. And so we were not careless swimmers. I had an obstinate 3-year-old that day, and she didn't follow instruction and didn't follow rules and snuck away. And it happens anywhere. It can happen to you in the store. Your kids will get away from you in the store. We've had instances where your kids get away in your own house, where you can't find them in your own house. You know what I mean? They're hiding. And so this can happen to anyone. It can happen anywhere. And just through the grace of God, I was prepared that day. I was prepared. I wouldn't have been prepared if that had happened a month before that.
Wow, that's incredible.
It is.
That is incredible.
It is.
And now you're telling us that she swims.
She
swims. And she has a favorite activity that she does in the water?
Her favorite activity is to belly float. And I hate that activity. And every time we get to that portion of her swim lesson, I'm at the edge of the pool. I really just want to pull her out or scream, it's very, very difficult to watch. Her lessons are very hard to watch, but they're so good for me too. You know what I mean? They're so good for me.
It's helping her and it's helping you and your entire family.
It is. It's very
overcome
therapeutic.
This fear of water.
It is. But she's good. We actually have a lesson today. We do private lessons in the same swimming pool that it happened in, and we have a girl that comes to us and she's working hard to help B, and B is determined. She wants to learn to swim without that floaty. She doesn't want that floaty. She respects the floaty, but she's ready to swim like her sisters.
That is
she's
really
working
amazing.
hard.
What a brave little girl.
She's so brave.
Yes,
She's so
yes.
brave.
Now, what lessons did you and your family learn after this experience?
We have learned that you have to take it upon yourself to be prepared. I'm so thankful that in an emergency, I didn't have to wait for help, that I was in a situation where I could help myself. And I was an unprepared mother before, and I didn't know I was unprepared. And so now that I've learned CPR, I'm prepared not just for my family, but my friends' families and families around me. So that was the first thing, is to be proactive as a parent. And I wish I had learned it before. This was we have 4 children, and I should have learned CPR with my first kid, and I didn't. And so that's one thing that we've learned. Another thing is people say this, but I feel like we are truly living it, is that you can't take one day for granted, that we are not promised tomorrow. I'm not promised this afternoon, but we just cannot take anything for granted, that we have to make sure that we are living in a way that is healthy for our family, and that as a family that we are glorifying God in everything that we do, and we are savoring tiny moments. Like we savor a trip to the park more so now than we did before.
Right.
And we're enjoying holidays, I feel like, better than before, because we almost lost one, you know, and we are still a family of 6, and I can't stop smiling about it, you know. It's so good.
And it's a wonderful reason to smile.
It is.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. So we've just learned to keep our focus on our days, and make sure that we're just loving each other and what we have together, because we don't know how long we have together. You know?
Exactly, that's true. Nobody knows that.
Nobody knows. No.
And on that note, do you think that this experience brought other opportunities to your family, to your daughters,
yes.
to your son, to your
Yes.
husband?
Yes, the fact that,
opportunities?
people we have friends that are learning CPR that wouldn't have before, and organizations have offered CPR training at low cost or even free because of this story, because they want to get people prepared. And that has been such a blessing for us, that Britton's story is not just a great story, but it's life-changing for people, that people are walking away more prepared, that
Right.
moms and dads and grandmas are making sure that they're prepared in the horribly unlikely event that would happen.
Right.
But it's given a great opportunity for us to share just our faith as a family. We are very much rooted in Jesus, and it's given us such opportunity to share just joy and the love of Christ with a lot of people, you know. So
How wonderful
it's
that
good.
you're able to carry this on
Yeah.
to others.
Yeah,
so
we
that
are
is
not
wonderful.
down in the dumps about this. Like this is a good story, and we came out on the other side just so good and much better as a family. I
And
feel
you
like.
know what I like about this and your attitude is that you're taking this as learning a lesson and not being hard on yourself or your family or anyone, because again, this can happen to anybody. And because you were prepared, it made a big difference.
It did.
So very important to know CPR, very
Yes.
important. Are you the only one in your family that knows CPR, or everyone?
Everyone's learning it. My husband knows
Yes,
it. I feel
imagine.
like, at what point can my 9-year-old learn it? You know what I mean? Like, how soon can she learn it? And we want to
Exactly.
make sure that everyone is prepared. And even the people that we used to swim by ourselves a lot. That was probably one pool safety rule that we weren't great at following. I would go with my kids swimming all the time by ourselves at my in-laws, and we've altered that. We want to make sure that we have extra eyes there with us.
Yes.
And just we're so thankful that my mother-in-law was there that day, so she was able to call 911, and she was able to wrangle kids while the police were there and the paramedics were there, and just want to make sure that we're always on top of our game. Always have our head on our shoulders and know what's going on around us, and being smart as we're.
And I like that you have your rules even
We
in your
do.
in-laws' house, because I mean, kids are kids. They just want to have fun. They see a pool, they just want to jump in, and directions they're not too fun. But
They're not.
you know, it's great that you're telling them, you know, we have to follow the rules. You're going to have fun, but
Right.
let's be
But
safe.
there's a reason. Yeah,
Right.
There's a reason.
Now, Amanda, regarding CPR training, where did you get your training, or what information can you give us about that?
I have a friend, her name is Jana James, and she teaches CPR. She kind of just did it on the side. She's a certified instructor, and she would teach it on the side, and she was the one I contacted and said, when are you teaching a CPR class? I really feel like I need to know this. And that was before Britton's accident. And she had a class coming up pretty soon, and so I went to her class just at, she had an exercise studio at the time, and that's where I learned. But now she teaches it through Autry, and that's where a lot of my friends have gone. So the friends that have learned CPR here in Enid, they have gone to Autry to learn it, and then our friends outside of the Enid community have gone to either Votex, certain hospitals will offer it. Some of them have even gone to the Red Cross to learn it, and it's incredibly inexpensive when you compare it to your trade-off,
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You cannot place
You can't.
a cost on
No.
your loved ones'
Right.
lives.
Right.
That makes a big difference.
Right.
Now, if you want to know more information about CPR, you can also contact the Red Cross, and the information is on the screen. You can contact www.redcross.org or the number on the screen. Amanda, thanks again for joining us today and sharing that wonderful experience. We are very happy that Britton is doing so well and that your entire family is doing so well. We hope that many blessings keep coming your way. So thanks again for sharing that wonderful story.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching One-on-One with Jomara. Now, for our department head video, we have Dana Watkins.
Hello, I am Dana Watkins, Director of Information Technology. The Information Technology IT department was created to ensure the city's information needs were met. In addition, the IT department is responsible for all technical related issues concerning the city of Enid. If I can be of service to you, please contact me at the number provided on our website. Thank you.
Good morning, Enid. On this Thursday, July 14, we're at 76 degrees under, I'd say partly cloudy and mostly cloudy skies. And as you're preparing for the day, the high today will be around 95, very humid though, because there will be a 60% chance of showers later today. And we appreciate, again, Amanda coming back by a year later to tell her story and just the importance of, as that parent of, taking care of kids, but also knowing CPR and just, I guess, somewhat being cool, calm, and collected, to be able to handle things. So I just admire her and her courage. Come back and share the story, and just to really encourage us all to be mindful of things that can happen just in a moment. It's 7:52, and golf is one of my favorite topics, and we have an opportunity to encourage some women to play golf at Meadow Lake, and we have a promo that we'd like to show. And I think there's some women's leagues and just a league play for the women. And let's learn more about that right now.
It's a beautiful day at Meadow Lake. Come join us on Tuesday evenings for our Meadow Lake Evening Ladies League. Closer.
We play 9 holes each evening. All levels of golfers are welcome, from beginners to seasoned golfers.
We're the seasoned ones. We tee off at 6 o'clock. Call the clubhouse by 5:30 if you want to play. We'd love to see you, so come join us.
Makes me want to go play golf. So encourage you to go out, talk with Cody Lack, and get hooked up and play golf at Meadow Lake. I know the course is really looking good. We've had some additional rains besides the way they manicure the course and really take care of it. So check them out if you will. So let's go back to find out if you missed what happened in the news overnight. A few minutes ago, we'll bring back the bow tie guy. Here's Derrick Silas with the Oklahoma Minute.
Gasoline pump prices nationwide have fallen for 30 straight days, and Oklahoma has the nation's second cheapest gasoline prices. Everyone is raving about the new Pokemon Go game released on July 6th that promotes exercise and travel between the real world and virtual world. Enid residents were out on the courthouse lawn and parks to chase down the critters this week. Native Oklahoma resident David Wilson may become the first Native American bishop in the history of the United Methodist Church. The election process begins today in Wichita and is expected to conclude tomorrow. And on this day in history, in 1968, Atlanta Braves slugger Henry Hank Aaron hits the 500th home run of his career in a 4-2 win over the San Francisco Giants. And that's the Oklahoma Minute. Back to you, Steve.
Thank you, Derrick. And I remember that home run because I think by the time Hank Aaron got to the second base or third base, somebody from the stands ran out on the baseball field and was running with him as he was running the bases. So I can't believe, how many years ago was that? 80? Golly, man, time flies, doesn't it? Anyway, I remember that. So I'd like to remind you at 8 o'clock, about 5 minutes from right now, we have a show regarding the Oklahoma Military Connection. There's a job fair that's coming up in the month of August, and different employers will be on hand here, and I believe it's at the Convention Hall, and it's called the Oklahoma Military Connection, making that connection for veterans with job opportunities, and we'll have that show coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. Captain Scott Williams was interviewed by Derrick Silas, and it's a very informative show that's coming up at 8 o'clock. In case you are making plans for the weekend and you missed the three-day forecast a little bit earlier this morning, see if we can bring that up and let you know that Friday looks a little bit cooler. But again, we'll be back to full summertime temperatures at 98 and 100 degrees. Swimming pool looks good, doesn't it? Yeah, but I think at the same time, I'm ready for some fall weather. Well, I think you've been so good about adopting pets for us, and we want to show our pet promo this morning at 7:57, and just encourage you to continue to find homes for our pets that are out of animal control. Let's look at that right now.
We are located at 1200 South 10th here in Enid, Oklahoma, and our phone number is 580-249-4910.
249-4910 is the number to remember to help out adopt a dog or cat this week. And they also have a large pen area. If you already have a proud owner of a dog and you want to see if these dogs are compatible, you can go out there and take your pet and find out that way. Well, we're just a few minutes away from the 8 o'clock hour and also that show that I told you about. I'd like to remind you that City Commission meeting's coming up next Tuesday. You see the information on your screen right there. Study session will be live stream at enidtv.org. You don't have to watch it on television. You can watch it on your smartphone, any mobile device, enidtv.org. Study session at 5 o'clock, and then the City Commission meeting will be at 6:30. So that's coming up next week. Well, we got to go. Amanda Carlisle, thank you very much for sharing your story. You're an inspiration to many, and we appreciate you being with us, and we appreciate you being with us today. Make it a great day. Good morning, Enid.